I want to thank you because you're the busiest person I know, because I know you're on webinars all the time. So I just totally appreciate this. So thank you. Okay.
Whatever I can do to help, I'm here.
Okay. So I'm interviewing coaches. And the reason why is there are so many coaches around. Okay. And I want to know what they do, how they can help clients, and do we even need a coach? So I'm going to share my results with other inventors and entrepreneurs as a whole.
Okay.
And I want to tell you, I have never had a coach, and you're the closest person to a coach I ever considered hiring. But I was way into my invention before, so I just didn't do it. So I wanted to ask you a few questions.
Okay, please go ahead.
So you're a specialized kind of coach. Your audience is inventors. So I'm an inventor. But your specialization is in licensing. So I want to ask you, what is licensing?
Well, first of all, thank you very much, Connie. Licensing, people are really confused with the word licensing, but brand licensing has been around for probably 100 years. And that's where a manufacturer, let's say Disney, will license their brand, Mickey Mouse, for manufacturers to put it on their products, such as cups and T-shirts and towels and things like that. That's brand licensing. And that's a very, very big industry. It's been around for over 100 years. There's product licensing, and that's really what we're talking about today. And product licensing is where you're not licensing a brand, but you're an inventor and you're going to license or rent your product to a company that's looking for ideas. And when you do license or rent that idea to a company, they're going to bring it to market for you. Basically, it's a company that already has shelf space, a company that already has a product line, manufacturing, fulfillment, marketing, basically everything. So you're going to license it to that company, and they're going to do all the heavy lifting, bring it to market for you, and pay you a royalty on each and every one they sell. And that's called product licensing.
So I imagine that makes it easier for an inventor.
Well, it does. The two different ways an inventor would commercialize their inventions would be venturing. That's more traditional. And that's basically what's being taught. It's being taught on Friday nights on Shark Tank. It's being taught at the universities. That's the traditional business model. Licensing is another alternative. It's for a lot of creative people that maybe they don't want to start a business. Maybe they don't have the money, experience, or time, or even the desire to start a business. They're going to let the company do the heavy lifting while they collect the royalties.
Mm-hmm. So Stephen, I met you about 3 years ago at a group for inventors in Washington, D.C. And before I met you, I had never heard of licensing. And now you are the guru of licensing, and people are learning so much about it. So my question to you is, you are an inventor yourself. Have you ever gone the traditional route of venturing?
Yes, I have. I've done both. Mm-hmm. I like the licensing business model, but it's for someone like me that's very creative, that just doesn't want to run a business. It's kind of a perfect business model for me. But I did start a company a couple of years ago. Very simple idea. I didn't realize at the time how much money it was going to take, or how much time it was going to take, or how difficult it was going to be. It was basically just different shaped guitar picks. Instead of being the traditional shape, we made them in the shape of Mickey Mouse and monsters and fun things like that. We had about 30 employees. We were selling at Walmart, 7-Elevens. We were in about 10,000 stores around the world. We eventually became one of the largest manufacturer of guitar picks probably in the world. And we didn't do the traditional musician guitar pick. We did guitar picks for lifestyle, for fans of musicians. So the market was much, much larger. But what people didn't realize, that 3-cent piece of plastic, that's very inexpensive. For me to fill an order for Walmart took $250,000. People have no idea that to really do it on a large scale, that it takes probably more money than they probably have or they're willing to spend. Mm-hmm. And everybody thinks it's a money issue, but it's really not a money issue either. It's a knowledge issue. So how do you sell to retailers? How do you collect money? How do you do the float game? How do you do the manufacturing, the marketing, all those things? So yes, I have experience. And then after I got through it, I sold that company as fast as I could and did something else.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I heard the story about you with Taylor Swift and her dad.
Yeah, we actually sold, we had our guitar picks in gas stations across the United States. And Taylor Swift's dad came by and loved the guitar picks and reached out to us. And so we were making guitar picks for her and her band. Yeah.
Yeah, you see, I follow you all over the place. Okay, so what was the trigger that got you into licensing? Because now people know about it, but before, when you started it, nobody knew about it. Very few people. So what got you started?
That's a great question. I was, my first company I was actually working for, in fact, the only job I think I've really ever had was Worlds of Wonder. Mm-hmm. And Worlds of Wonder had launched Teddy Ruxpin, the mm-hmm. first talking teddy bear, and laser tag. And I was head of design, and I basically at the time was living over in the Far East, making sure the products looked great coming off the production line. Mm-hmm. And I was there for months and months at a time. And it finally dawned on me when I was on the production line of Teddy Ruxpin that where was the inventor? Well, he wasn't there. He was at home collecting royalty checks or doing something. Mm. And something my father had told me about creating great wealth. He said, you have to find something that does not require your presence or your hands. Mm. And it has a multiplying effect. And that's when it hit me like a ton of bricks that what my father was talking about was probably licensing. And the creator of Teddy Ruxpin, Ken Forsey, had licensed Teddy Ruxpin to Worlds of Wonder. Mm-hmm. And he was collecting about $1 million in royalties a month.
Oh, that's incredible.
Yeah. So that's when I learned about, that's when it finally really hit me hard and realized, heck, I want to do what he's doing. I'm not quite sure when you need one. All right. It's not if, it's probably when you need one. Mm-hmm. But those are first two things most people do. And right. They end up with a patent and a prototype, and they're out a lot of money and nothing is happening. So to me, it's a knowledge issue. And that's something most people don't think it is. So they don't pursue it. So what happens is most inventors are frustrated. They're probably not as successful as they want to be. And it's probably taken them 10 years.
Exactly. Well, I'm a retired teacher. I taught in colleges for over 40 years. And one other connection that we have is that I am now a mentor for a new inventor. I've never been a mentor before. And I asked her how she found me. And she found me on LinkedIn through you. Well, because she admired you all the time, but she didn't think she would ever be able to connect with you. So she saw one time when you commented on one of my posts, and she connected with me. And so we're just working together, and she inspires me all the time. She's going to work with you. I've told her she has to go into licensing.
Well, you know what's amazing about this industry, and people probably don't know why I care so much. When inventors are successful, it helps the next inventor. It inspires the next person. So we really are all together on this pursuit of having our dreams come to life. So, and if we keep working together, connecting with each other, we will have a voice.
Right.
And the voice, we don't have a voice at the moment on Capitol Hill. We don't have a voice at the USPTO. We're too fragmented. So my goal is to keep educating and bring everybody together for the common good.
Actually, you just answered, I think, my next question. I was going to say, what keeps you going? Because you are so busy.
Well, I am, but, as people ask me, when someone says I don't have time for something, it just means they're not interested. So if you're really interested in something, you'll find the time. Mm-hmm. We all only have 24 hours in a day, but some people seem to do so much in 24 hours. So I'm still fascinated by it. I have a product that I work with a couple other inventors. It's called Fishbone. And Fishbone, Fishbone eliminates the plastic rings, those terrible plastic rings on beverages. So I'm still at the table, still negotiating, still filing intellectual property, helping with manufacturing. So I'm still in the game, right? Mm-hmm. So I do believe that in order to be current, you really have to stay in the game.
Exactly.
Because it changes so quickly now.
Exactly.
And if you're not, your information will probably be a little dated.
Well, actually, that's really, you have to stay in the game. I actually have a new product that I'm working on, and it's not really a product, but it's something that I'm doing for older people. Actually, I became an inventor at age 68. Okay, so I'm trying to inspire older people. That we may get old, but we still we're not dead yet. We still have a lot of life in us.
Well,
except technology. Okay.
Well, what's really interesting. I'm glad you said that, because people ask me all the time, "Why don't you retire?" No, I like I like this. And I also realized when I was a very young man that if you find something you really like to do, you're never going to work a day in your life. Mm-hmm. And if you're lucky, you'll probably work on it forever, because it's a passion. It's something you really look forward to. I don't like 8 to 5. That seems silly to me. 7 days a week. That sounds silly to me too.
You're probably 4 till 2.
I just like it. I want to do it all the time. So
exactly.
I'm fascinated by it. I'm probably more fascinated about this whole industry more now than I ever have been. It needs some leadership. I do know that, but it needs all of us to come together to help each other.
Right. So this is a specific question that I want to ask you. So my project was during COVID, because I had a product that I put on hold because it was for restaurants, and I didn't want to encourage old people to go out to eat. So what I did instead, because I was home, is I gathered up all of my pictures, my photo albums. Young people don't have them. I have like 20 photo albums. And I gathered all my pictures and I put them into a book, because I realized that I'm not going to be here forever. And I want my children to know about me. Oh, so I created a book that tells them everything that I want to learn about me. For example, I have this one picture, and it's of, I said, you see that my mom and me and my brother, I actually have 4 brothers, standing next to a car? That's a Plymouth. I was born in that Plymouth. So I'm telling them a lot of stories about me. I also did my research and found out something I never knew, and that is that my grandparents immigrated to the United States from Poland in 1912, and they had to postpone their trip because my grandma had morning sickness. And the trip that they postponed was on the Titanic.
Ouch.
Now, isn't that interesting? So I have all of these, that's only 2 things. I have like so many stories, because once I'm gone, nobody's going to know them. So I wrote this book, and now I'm trying to help other people write their story. And what I want to do is encourage their children or their grandchildren to work with them and sit around with them and find out their stories, because they are dying to tell their stories. So that's my newest project.
Wonderful.
So do you think that can be licensed?
Well,
It
licensing
could be a yes, no.
Well, it's a hard question. I think you have to look at the format, how people are going to do it. I mean, I think anything could be licensed, but you have to have a little perceived ownership.
Right.
So
anyway, I'm just sharing that with you. If you ever get any ideas, you tell me, because I think this is great. Okay. Because I'm working on it now. As a matter of fact, I went to a pitch contest last night about this one. I actually call it Write Your Selfie. And the reason I call it Write Your Selfie is because all the young kids do selfies. The millennials, they take selfies all the time. But my age, we don't do selfies. So this is a chance for us to write our selfie. So I actually went to a pitch contest last night, and I was one of the winners. So they're going to promote my product. So anyway, so I think I'm not quite as busy as you, but in my head, I can't wait to wake up in the morning.
I think
to work on this.
I think you're pretty darn busy, and I think busy is good. So good.
It is good. Yeah. So I have. Okay, I wanted to ask you one more thing. This one you don't have to answer. Okay. But I'm really impressed that you're working with your wife Janice, who I met, your daughter Madeline, who I believe helps you write.
Yes.
Does that cause any conflicts?
Yes.
Okay, you don't have to answer, but I would imagine that would be a little difficult, or
Well, I met my wife at Worlds of Wonder, and her profession was new products, so it was a really kind of interesting dynamic. She is my best friend. She is the smartest person I know, and I still lean on her for decisions always. Right. So regardless if it's business related, my daughter, though, has worked for me for about a decade. Those 1,000 articles is her work. So we found a balance. You got to have the kind of a balance to work with family members, and that takes time to figure that out. But it's very rewarding too. So, but overall, you just have to find things you want to do and make sure you're helping. If it's a family member or an employee or a friend, it does not matter. You really have to find out what's important to them and hopefully help them.
Well, I think she's got it nailed in this writing business. I was a writing teacher, okay? So I can really recognize good writing. Okay.
Well, I need a lot of help, so thank you for saying that. I think
it's incredible. I'm starting writing too. Actually, I wrote an article that I just submitted to Entrepreneur magazine, and it's called Coaching Everywhere. Do we really need one?
Well, that's a very interesting topic, because I don't know of any industry that doesn't have mentors or coaching or education. I mean, I don't know of one. And for some reason, people think maybe inventors don't need that. I'm like, well, that's the craziest thing I've ever heard. I don't know what industry that doesn't have some type of component of education.
Exactly.
I don't know. I mean, even if you're a teacher, a plumber, a lawyer, a bricklayer, a lawyer, it doesn't matter. You've been educated. So why would inventing be any different? I don't know. I think if it's a hobby, then yes, maybe you don't need one. But
I never had one. And before I decided to hire one, I thought, let me do some research onto what an inventor does. And I decided, in addition to doing research, I'm going to interview people and share what I've learned. So this will go out to inventors everywhere.
I think, like anything else in life, just find someone that has the experience you're looking for. And
I guess that would be you.
Well, it can be. It could be a lot of people. But just make sure they're current, and make sure the information is something that you need, and make sure that that it kind of works with your lifestyle or your timing or whatever. But at the end of the day, if you want to become a professional at anything, you'll probably need some type of education.
Exactly. I mean, I'm still learning so much, and I'm actually 73 now. So, and I'm not afraid to say it because
Well,
I feel so good.
you look fantastic. Your energy
Thank you.
level is amazing. So whatever you're doing, keep doing it.
Well, I'm doing what you're doing. We love what we do. Okay. So, and now that I'm actually helping a new inventor, I'm just totally invigorated.
Good for you.
I thank you for this, but I'd like to end with one note. What words of wisdom would you like to share with a new inventor?
I would say anybody that's new, just take a deep breath. Don't get in a hurry. Take enough time to educate yourself, no matter if it's a YouTube, a book, a mentor, it does not matter. And don't rush. You don't have to rush. Don't panic. Don't be fearful. You can do this. And you'll be amazed at what you can accomplish. And once you accomplish this venturing or this process of bringing a product to market, there's nothing you can't do.
I thank you so much. Okay, this has been so wonderful, and I appreciate it.
No, what a pleasure. Thank you very much.